The Baltimore Orioles are kind of winners.
Is this like when you're at a club and the lights come on and the lady next to you is kind of a winner? This is a swing batter classic. Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome to Swing Batter. This is the podcast that you don't want to miss because we're going to talk about your team, where they're going to be, and what they're going to do. But first, since we're into 2023 and we're January 2023 now, we got to talk about the upcoming presidential election because everyone's going to get in the ring. And the favorite two people that Swing Batter has proudly backed is the campaign of Lenny Dykstra and Jose Canseco. It's the campaign you need. You may not know you need it, but you need it, and we're going to come to live. We got some great updates about that campaign. But first, here are your hosts. Father, how are you doing?
Right now, totally confused about this election, but I can't wait to find out.
Yep, you and me both. Don't worry, Maricopa County is still counting votes with LA.
Yeah.
Our other host, the one, the only, Todd. How you doing, brother?
I'm fantastic. Please, dear God, can we stop having elections for like 10 years?
Nope. I would like to elections forever. Stop. And I would like Lenny Dykstra and Jose Canseco to know I will be your campaign manager.
Lenny Dykstra had the tweet of the day today.
I want to hear it.
This is so good. He goes, I'm sorry the New York Jets season didn't work out so well. Zach Wilson's mom must be disappointing. If you need someone to talk to, I'm here for you. Hashtag hugs. So he's using Twitter now to hit on Zach Wilson's mom.
You know the backstory of that, right?
No.
Dad, you know the backstory of that.
Come on.
Yeah, there's some doors I don't want to open.
Oh, I'm open at the door. This is Swing Batter.
Is this because Zach Wilson's mom does not look like a mom?
Well, it's because Zach Wilson was with a lovely young lady, but cheated on the young lady with his mother's friend.
Wait, that was the backstory of this?
The backstory that I recall is that Zach Wilson's relationship ended because he got with his mother's friend, and his mother is also single. So Lenny's like, I know how your crew runs there, Zach Wilson's mom. I got a yacht or a boat. I would love to go out with y'all. So that's where that's going.
2 tweets before that, he was hitting on Dolly Parton. So this is these are the circles that Lenny's running in.
It's tough. In January, it's a lonely month. It's so lonely. It's cold. You're feeling a little lonely. You don't have anyone. I can see you reaching out to Dolly Parton. No one's heard from her husband in a while. For all we know, no one knows where he's at. And then obviously, Zach Wilson is not doing so great. I don't think he had a great year for the good old Jets, but we're not here about football.
Well, okay, so let's go to Jose Canseco, who is still trolling Aaron Judge, saying, I'm getting ready for you. Let's see if you can hit a baseball as far as I can hit a softball. I doubt that very much. Let me know when you're ready. We'll do the competition for charity.
So based on what I'm hearing, I think Jose's the vice president and Lenny's the president. Because if I want a president to flirt with women, and I'm okay with my vice president saying, hey, come out to the backyard, let's see who can hit softballs farther. Like, that's what a vice president should be doing.
Yeah.
Silly competitions, like arm wrestling. I can see Jose bringing in another leader and going, I know you just out-negotiated Lenny, but can you beat me in arm wrestling?
Canseco's got a video on this tweet of him hitting, just crushing balls. He actually looks like Lou Ferrigno.
I would also make sure Jose Canseco never wears sleeves. He would have suits. That would be my pitch to him.
I have a video of Jose Canseco having a fly ball hit off his head and go over the fence for a home run. So
obviously had zero effect on his judgment.
Well, and that hasn't happened to Aaron Judge. Well, let's start off this session. Let's start off the session with our most important team, the team we want to own. Come to our website, swingbatter.com. Get some merch. We're here all the time. Buy it for Valentine's Day. But for us to own the Pirates, Pirates are making some great moves. And I think they really took what we said last podcast to heart. And I'm very proud about that. I'm happy to hear we're influencing the Pirates front office. They signed Rich Hill, clearly at the age of 43. He's clearly going to be a player manager. Like he's either going to be the pitching coach and also be a pitcher. And Carlos Santana, being the young 37 that he is, has got to be looking at this thinking, man, I got 6 more years to play baseball with the Pirates. I think you have 2 very good potential player coaches there between Carlos Santana and Rich Hill. You guys think the Pirates are finally going to do what we want them to do?
Lose?
Oh, no, they're going to lose. I'm just saying player coaches.
It's a good chance, but this signing of Rich Hill, I mean, it's like, what do they think's going on here?
I don't know if there's much thinking that goes on with the Pirates.
Ding. Ding. Our father is correct.
Like, what's the Pirates' payroll right now?
Yeah.
Their projected payroll is $84 million, and now they're giving 10% of it to Rich Hill?
Can we go back to who was I complaining about with the Diamondbacks? Like
Evan Longoria?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who plays more, Longoria or Hill?
Well,
that's what I want to know.
Rich Hill's a starting pitcher, so
yeah,
probably Hill.
How do we get to $84 million with the Pirates? I guess if we count Santana and Hill, what's the salary for people under 37 on the Pirates?
Okay, Brian Reynolds is a center fielder. He's 28 years old. He's making $6.7 million. I think he's the lowest paid center fielder in baseball.
And everyone was trying to trade for him. Weren't the Yankees and Dodgers trying to get him?
Oh, holy cow! If you live in Pittsburgh, what do you like?
Steelers.
He's got eliminated from the playoffs. They're done.
I'd wait until next year. They got a good young quarterback. Steel Town.
Oh, what a train wreck this team is.
So that's our update on the Pirates. I wanted to also give a shout out.
Can we talk about the fact his name is Hill? Over the hill? Get it? There you go, kids. That's your dad joke of the day.
That's terrible. Can we also talk about one of our teams that we always like to follow that we know was never going to do much? Kansas City Royals. They signed a player.
Uh-oh.
And they got him from a really great team. They got him from Tampa Bay. So they were able to get Yarborough from Tampa, who's actually a decent pitcher. He's like a used reliever / starter. He reaches about 3 innings. And then Kansas City went out and they broke the bank, everybody. If you're a Kansas City Royals fan, this is why you buy tickets. They spent $3 million for a 1-year contract.
Kansas City, I know I used an image before. I change it a little bit now. Kansas City is like Eagle Scouts. You know, they're just all really nice people, and you really hope they win because they'll help old ladies across the street and things like that. It's just a wonderful, wonderful team of good people. So you kind of hope they do well.
Why are you acting like they're a charity case? They beat the Mets in 2016. Stop pretending they haven't won.
No, I didn't say they haven't won. They haven't got good players today. All those players that won with them, they all got rich on other teams.
Well, that's hardly my issue.
Here's why this signing's fantastic, and here's why the good teams that are going to miss him are going to miss him. He's a lefty, and what's happening now? No more shift. He's a lefty. He does do the 3 innings. He comes in, does 3 innings. He was used as a starter. He used as a middle reliever, and he's been used as a closer. He's been used as all 3. He is only third. I think this is a great signing by Kansas City to trade in the middle of the year when they are out. So look for your team, i.e. the Mets, to go grab this great relief pitcher to add to your bullpen. And
you're talking about
early talents.
You're talking about Yarborough?
Yeah.
If you're Yarborough, would you fire your agent after the Rich Hill signing? How is a guy 12 years older than you making $5 million more?
I think he's his own agent.
That's pathetic.
I mean,
Is that what Kansas City looks for? They're like, this guy's not represented by an agent. Make the call.
When I read that Rich Hill's a pretty good pitcher, but I read he's 42 years old, this thought came across my mind. Who gets injured first, Rich Hill or A.J. Pollock, who's always injured?
How? Does A.J. Pollock have to be in spring training, or is he taking it off?
I don't know.
He always gets injured in spring training. And where is his spring training? Who did he sign with? Who did A.J. sign with?
Seattle.
Okay. Rich Hill, I'm all for Seattle. Seattle signs players. They put on a nice sprinkle dust right on their injuries, and they're going to go wholesome. A.J. Pollock will be a key component to Seattle's push into the playoffs, as they will be better than the Rangers, than the Angels by a mile. A.J. Pollock, great signing for your Seattle Mariners, and Seattle Mariners are going to be very happy with this guy navigating that outfield. He will have a full season. He's motivated, just left the White Sox and the Dodgers. He's going to reprove himself. He's going to hit over 25 bombs. I love A.J. Pollock on the Seattle Mariners.
Well, that's just because it's the Seattle Mariners.
It does something to you. It brings out the life in you. He'll be in Surprise, Arizona for spring training. We'll go see him, take a look. Guess who? I believe Seattle shares it with Texas. That's hilarious. What do you think? Do they just make fun of Texas the whole time? Is they just like, oh, look, there's a pretend baseball team. You remember the one that had 60 wins?
In Seattle?
We're the real one, and we made the playoffs, and you're the fake one that spends too much money on stupid players.
They got, on paper, Texas has got a great starting five of starters on paper.
I have cold feet and a nice fireplace, so you know where that paper is going to go. Beautiful kindling.
Or we go, okay, we go in here now because Jake and Wake from, I think, JomBoy Media, he put out his American League off-seasons winners and losers. You ready for this one? Let's start with the losers, right? Boston, we all know that one, right? The White Sox, the Minnesota Twins, Detroit Tigers, and the Kansas City Royals. Although, if you have Raul Mondesi's son on your team, I don't know how he should be perennially like a winner. What did
the Twins do to make them a loser? The Twins don't do anything to make them a winner or a loser. They're just kind of vanilla.
I think it's players they lost.
Well, yeah. I mean, they lost Correa.
But they didn't even have him last year. He didn't even care. I mean, they're the Twins. Fine, they lost him. I get it.
So you would put the Twins in the who cares? He had the who cares category.
Yeah, but what did Kansas City do to be a loser? Like, they were already a dumpster fire last year. It's not like they literally were like one game away from the playoffs and they just got rid of their rock. They were so far out.
Well, he has a who cares category. He just didn't put them in it. Yeah, his who cares category is the Oakland A's.
That should be Minnesota, Kansas City, Oakland. Yeah, I agree with that, but Minnesota and Kansas City should be losers. He's missing some losers. He's missing some losers.
Cincinnati would go in who cares?
Yep.
They're the National League, though.
Okay, Colorado Rockies.
This is just the American League.
Oh, American League?
Yeah, Dad, keep eating the hot fries.
I got to, man. This whole conversation is making me nervous.
So is you ready for here we go, the kind of winners. Kind of winners.
This is like kind of dating. From kind of in a relationship.
The Tampa Bay Rays are kind of winners.
This guy.
I don't know what the standard is, but they're kind of winners. The Baltimore Orioles are kind of winners.
Is this like when you're at a club and the lights come on and the lady next to you is kind of a winner? Like, what are we taking? Like this terrible kind of a winner. This list is a swing batter classic.
All right, so then he has the Houston Astros as kind of winners.
They were the winner. And
right, but he's talking about it in the offseason. But they signed Jose Abreu, right?
They did.
They lost,
but Verlander. They gave up Verlander, their Cy Young.
They signed that relief pitcher though. They kept their hot arms. I think they're winners because they were already loaded.
They're kind of winners. Seattle Mariners are also kind of winners.
Should it be said like a high voice, like kind of winners?
Last one in the kind of winners category. You ready for this? The New York Yankees. Kept Aaron Judge, signed Rodon. Kind of winners.
Hey, Brian, this guy's going to walk in your office and say, you spent $360 million to be kind of winners.
You want to hear who he says are the winners?
Okay.
If you haven't figured this out from who's left.
There's some teams that should have already been pronounced that have not been pronounced that I'm getting ready to unleash
The
some words.
Toronto Blue Jays are winners.
For what? For losing in the first round of the playoffs every year? For what?
Can we see who did they do? Who did they sign?
They traded with the Diamondbacks and lost some great talent. They signed Chris Bassett, Ross Stripling.
Wait, he's saying
Kymire. Yeah, so they got a great center fielder defenseman who's injured 60 to 80 games a year. They signed Bassett and Stripling. I mean, sure, okay. No, I'm sorry.
The winners.
Ross. Yeah, Stripling went to San Francisco. They lost him. They got signed 2 guys, and they're winners.
I think you expect big things from Bassett.
The Yankees signed 2 guys too.
But this is his list of winners. And again,
right.
I even messed
It gets better, Brendan. Gets better.
Winners. If you want to
Cleveland
out of the playoffs.
Cleveland Indians.
Guardians.
Well, Guardians. Cleveland Guardians.
I will agree with the Cleveland Guardians. I think they got a lot of players for the cheap. They stuck to their continue to stick to a value shopping. They're the Costco. No, not Costco. What is it? Value. What's Dollar Store? No, not that. I can't think of a grocery store or a chain. Yeah, but they're value. They're value.
They're the Lidl.
Yeah, I'll take that. I like Cleveland. I thought Cleveland had a good offseason.
The last 2 were the PA. It was the chef's kiss of Twitter stupidity. Ready? Here we go.
These are the ladies you want to.
These are the winners. These are
give them
the
your
AL
last name. Make a family with them. These are the ladies that you would do that with.
Texas Rangers.
Okay, folks. Here we go. Here we go. We wrapped up the end for this one. The Texas Rangers for this season and last season have committed to one thing: spending ridiculous amounts of money on very few players. They will continue to be known as the COVID host of the World Series because they will not host one in that new stadium that looks like a barn. They are not winners. They had 60-some wins last season. They are still going to be fighting for 3rd place in the American League West. Seattle has you destroyed. And guess what? The kind of winners, Seattle and Houston, are destroying the Rangers.
This is what the, quote, winning culture in the Texas Rangers have signed this offseason. You ready? Jacob deGrom, Nathan Eovaldi, Andrew Heaney, and Martin Perez.
And you're starting pitching, folks.
Right, that makes them winners.
There you are, Dad. There's the starting staff. Let's get through spring training and see what it looks like. How soon
is your last one? You ready?
Before you get an oblique from Mr. deGrom. Yeah, we got the Texas Rangers, big winners. Yeah, big winners. Yeah, woo.
Here's your last one. These are the winners in the offseason in the AL. The LA Angels.
That's true.
Hello, I'm going to get close to the mic and say this. The LA Angels are the winners, according to Wake and Jake.
That was even before they went out and signed Brandon Drury.
It was. So the signing of Tyler, don't call me Kyle Anderson, Carlos, I'm not Emilio's brother Estevez, and Brandon Drury makes them winners, according to Wake and Jake. I would suggest Jake do a little more wakey and a little less bakey.
Does Jake live in Anaheim?
He might. He might live in his imagination.
Here's my bold prediction for these 2 glorious AL West winners. I would take Oakland to beat one of those teams in the standings this year.
Woo!
What did he say for Oakland? He said they don't care.
Who cares?
Who cares? Who cares? Oakland should be classified with the who cares Angels, because the who cares, even going back to Pujols some 25 years ago when they signed Old Man Rivers to walk on that podium and tell him how we have a winner in town, and then proceeded to never go to the playoffs, proceeded to never do anything other than jog around the bases. So they sign Albert. They're still the same. They can say every year, Anaheim has the best spring training facility in Arizona, right in Tempe. It's so gorgeous. We are literally moving freeways just for the Angels Stadium because it's such a glorious location. And at the end of the day, they continue to disappoint, and they need to, for the love of God, stop disappointing. But guess what? Seattle vaulted both of those teams, and they did it probably without anyone knowing. Half of those teams, they're like, Seattle's in our division, and they're working us. They're working you over. So Houston and Seattle, enjoy the playoffs. The Angels and the Rangers, enjoy the bottom heap of your division, fighting it off with the A's for the first round draft pick.
Jeez, that's like Matt having the most expensive apartment in Section 8 housing.
How can they? Neither of those teams are winners.
Does Jake just... does he even follow baseball? Maybe he's like, I'm happy to.
He works for State Farm.
I thought we didn't follow baseball, but Jake from State Farm, yeah.
I'll tell you.
Speaking,
one thing we do know about Swing Batter, we know bad contracts, and we do know when players break down.
That's true.
And the Angels are notorious, and the Rangers are notorious.
Since we're on the subject of Los Angeles, can we talk about the Dodgers, who are they generate the most revenue in baseball, and their payroll is half that of the Mets?
You hit my nerve spot. I live in Arizona, cheer for the Diamondbacks, and we've watched the Dodgers win the West, was it 7 or 8 years in a row? Just win the division every year and dominate. Last year, they had one of the best teams in the history of baseball. They don't win, but they are tremendous. And now they're just like watching people leave. They're down to $185 million, which is peanuts for them. And I'm sitting here and I can't sleep at night because you know what it would be like if you had a pet Wolverine? You don't dare close your eyes. Something bad's going to happen to you any day now. And that's the way I feel about the Dodgers. They're going to do something that's just going to tear the hearts out of people. I don't know what the heck they got up their sleeve. And then I started daydreaming about they've made the National League West mentally ill. The Padres and the Giants will do anything to beat the Dodgers. The Padres are spending money that doesn't exist just to beat the Dodgers. So I thought to myself, you know what's next? We're going to wake up and find out the Padres signed Bauer just to go after the Dodgers. Like I said, or the Giants. One of them, because they both have a mental illness. The Dodgers must die. And the Dodgers is just sitting back there watching the world go around, and I don't trust them a bit. I don't know what
I keep hearing that they're saving up for Shohei Ohtani when he becomes a free agent next year.
But they don't play for next year. They're going to do something this year, too. I don't know what they can do, but I'm waiting for some big bombshell.
Maybe they'll sign Correa.
I don't know that that's going to do it for them, but yeah.
Okay, the Dodgers saving money for a player is silly. That needs to never be said. That's just like not realistic at all with the money they have. If you're Mookie Betts, you signed with them because they're going to have a winner forever. And lo and behold, the reason why the Dodgers are just going to give up is they need to get rid of Dave Roberts. And he keeps winning the division, and he's a terrible manager. And the only way to do that is they got to remove players from him so they can fire him and say, we don't have the right manager. Then they'll hire the right manager and reload on players. Dave Roberts is a barn fire. To win the division as often as he has, and the only World Series he has, which does not count, asterisk, doesn't count. COVID World Series does not count, Dodger fan. COVID got you the LA Lakers a championship, and the LA Dodgers a championship because you both cheated. Use COVID as an excuse. You go in and you have the NBA all come together, and the Lakers say, we're going to quit. We don't want to play. And then they end up winning a championship. Then, we're going to have to play this in Texas. And the Dodgers beat Tampa because both those teams didn't use starting pitching. They used 3-inning pitchers the whole season because it was a shortened season. And that's what Dave Roberts does. He abuses the bullpen every time, and he pulls his pitchers too soon. Kershaw, this may be, I don't know, he signed a 1-year deal. Is this his last? No, it's not his last hurrah. He's only in his 30s. So this is the year you let Dave Roberts go because he's not performing, and you bring in the manager you want, and then you start going after talent again.
I was just thinking about what I said.
Conspiracy theory.
I was thinking about what I said. I made a mistake. The Dodgers have not won the division every year because just a couple of years ago, the Giants actually won the division by 1 game. In a season where the Giants won so many magical wins in the bottom of the ninth and come from behind victories, and just one of those years where everything goes right for you. They beat the Dodgers by 1 game and then lost to them in the playoffs. But the Dodgers have been so good, they actually did not need a manager. You could have got a 12-year-old kid off the street and say, just write down 9 names to start, and they would win. They just had so much talent. But I just don't know what they're doing now.
If that 12-year-old kid is Peter Lemieux, then I would buy that. Because he would have a great lineup with those baseball cards back in the day. Yeah,
well, they dumped Trevor Bauer onto the rest of baseball, so he's hanging out there.
So where's he going?
He's going to pitch more than 5 innings if he leaves the Dodgers.
Well, he's gone. Now, you know, they either have to accept a trade for him or another team gets to sign him.
Yeah, you can sign him for minimum and make the Dodgers pay the rest.
Yep, you're paying $22 million.
Just like Eric Hosmer. They DFA'd him, so anybody can have him for the minimum. So he's out there, and he's got to be tempting a lot of general agents. That guy for the minimum?
I'm going to do a shout out to some of our really bad teams out there. Colorado, this is where you redeem yourself. Trevor Bauer is coming in. He's got his engineering. He does all this quirky stuff to train. Everybody in baseball hates it. Nobody wants to pitch in Colorado. He can go up there and prove that his quirkiness works in Colorado, and he can go and dominate up there for the Craptaculous Rockies for a league minimum and go and play against the Dodgers. I don't think he will do that because I wouldn't want to pay for the Colorado Rockies and face off against the Padres, the Giants, and the Dodgers. But I think Trevor would be a great signing for any numerous teams.
How about this one? Seattle. If they got him, could they pass the Astros? I mean, they're a good team.
Yeah, I would bet on them. Because he doesn't get injured. Trevor doesn't get injured.
Do they have pitching issues? I don't know that they do. I think they have a lot of young pitchers.
They can't use a Cy Young winner.
Yeah, they already have an Hayes up there. I mean, that would just be added.
Any owner or general manager that's looking to sign Trevor Bauer has to embrace the fact that they are the heel of Major League Baseball. They're going to be the heel. And they're going to have the Emperor from Star Wars. They're going to have Palpatine over their shoulder just saying, do it. Do it.
Wait a minute. The Browns signed Watson. Nobody cares.
Well, yeah. Some people cared.
I think they'll be upset at first, and there'll be all these people saying we're going to burn our season tickets and we'll never go to a game, and then give them 3 weeks and they'll have the stadium full again.
Straight through the conflict. You just
first time he goes out and pitches a one-hit shutout, they don't care.
There's one team that has proven time and time again they are willing to do things like this. That's the Boston Red Sox. Boston legitimately, they do not care. They don't care. They signed Devers to an extension that by all description of humanity and any sense of justice in the known civilized world is ridiculous on its face.
Do you think the fans in Philadelphia would be upset with Bauer coming there?
No, but I think Boston would actually throw him a parade.
They would.
So can we go over this Boston side? Because again, Boston is one of the big losers of the biggest losers of all losers this offseason. Let's just go. We're going to do a quick recap for all the folks out there. You got some players that sound really awesome like 4 or 5 years ago. So if you get Jansen, the closer Jansen 4 or 5 years ago, you're like, wow, he's a stud for the Dodgers. He's not a stud anymore. So they picked him up from Atlanta because Atlanta's like, he's kind of over. So Boston's like, we got him. And then they're like, the fans will love this. Then they proceed to sign. Who was the next one that they signed? They signed a couple oldies that are goodies. Let's go to my little chart with Boston. Oh, Boston, you're so special. I don't understand. I don't understand what you have. So they lost Xander. They lost Xander to San Diego.
Right.
San Diego gives him a ridiculous contract, but they keep. Why are they? They lost JD Martinez. They lost Xander. Oh yeah, they got JD. They got Justin Turner.
Yeah, okay.
5 years ago, Justin Turner, great signing. Now, 38-year-old Justin Turner, 35-year-old Jensen, no.
Justin Turner now, every time I look at him, reminds me of Fat Thor from Avengers Endgame. It's remarkably similar.
That's fair.
Not the part at the end where he braided his beard and everything. I mean the part where they walk in and the guy's playing Fortnite. He resembles Fat Thor.
I do like the fact that they're paying Eric Hosmer to go away, and now he's going to play for the Cubs. So they're paying players to not play for them, and then they signed one player. So they didn't sign Mookie. They didn't sign Xander. But they signed... Why? What is so special about him over the other two?
I don't know.
He's so special. And why couldn't they sign all three for $600? It's like, isn't Boston one of the top earning teams in Major League Baseball?
I think they looked at his on-base percentage of 342 and thought that was his batting average. I think there was some confusion there.
I just figured out the Dodgers. Justin Turner loves Los Angeles. Los Angeles loves him. They told him, go to the Red Sox. They'll pay you. Suck for 2 months. They'll DFA you. We'll pick you up for minimum, and you can come home and let the Red Sox pay for you.
Oh, jeez.
That might happen.
In that division, the Red Sox are clearly still on the bottom. Even with this signing, it still doesn't change where they're at. I mean, they lost more players than they gained. Is their farm system amazing? I'm not reading that their farm system is amazing.
It's the number 6 biggest contract by total money of all time. And I want anybody to tell me how many people they know in their social circles that would even know the name Rafael Devers.
Well, he goes with Trevor Story.
You could insert cricket sounds there as we all just kind of stare at the screen and try to meditate on the vast social network we have.
So the Red Sox have managed themselves lower than the Orioles?
I think so. The Orioles.
Strongly, very possible. That's very possible.
Baltimore's really all invested on their young talent. They
were fun last year. The Orioles played well last year. They were a fun team.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you get rid of steroid Davis. Strike him out Davis. Killer of all.
Zach Davies went to the Diamondbacks.
Yep. Yeah. He and Evan Longoria and Bumgarner are average age of 38 among the three of them?
That doesn't make... Okay, so can we go back to Boston again? We'll go to the Diamondbacks in a second. So he's third base and short. They signed Trevor Story from the Rockies. That's your shortstop. And he was not very good last year. And Trevor Story is known for not being very good. He's not... Is
he hurt?
He gets hurt.
Trevor Story hurt?
He's hurt because he's not playing in Colorado anymore.
So if he plays for Boston, he can't get the ball. So between the two of them, I believe that's a $53 million shortstop third base combo.
That and Jansen and Turner.
So Turner goes to first base? Is that what Turner does?
No, don't they have a first baseman?
So Turner's your DH?
Turner's going to be a DH there. He's not going to play third. I mean, he'll probably give people days off.
This team making less sense than the Pirates.
And they have spent tons of money to make less sense. Tons of money. It's dartboard magic. That's what they're doing. The front office is dartboard magic. So going back to the Diamondbacks, as Boston, again, is in the bottom. We don't even need to talk about them. They're not going to be competing. They can't compete with Tampa. Let's just face it. Sorry, Boston. You can't compete with a team that doesn't even spend $50. They have no fans. They're smarter than you. They're no more than you. So if we go to the Diamondbacks and what they're putting together, they're scrounging together a team that I think will be competitive. The biggest thing is their bullpen. I think Davies will be good for as far as a serviceable end of your rotation pitcher. He's the exact guy you want as your fourth or fifth starter. But from a standpoint of winning the division, I just don't think the Diamondbacks have any hope. But a fourth place team, possibly third, would be fantastic.
Well, the Diamondbacks have a lot of good young players, but young players are young players. They're more known for their speed than their power, but they got a lot of good outfielders, and they got some talent. They have some talented pitchers, too. But it seems to me like the West is divided into two sections. You have the Padres, the Giants, and the Dodgers who seriously want to win the thing. The Giants did not sign the free agents they wanted to. But then it's just the Rockies and the Diamondbacks trying to figure out which one's going to be fourth. I do think the Diamondbacks should be closer to third than fourth if the Giants slip up, but it's still hard to picture that.
I think the Rockies...
I feel like the Diamondbacks are hoping to get into the playoffs by mistake, which is better than Colorado, which is just trying to prove they don't belong in the minor leagues.
I think the Diamondbacks' goals are actually, they won't say this, actually lower than that. I think they just love to play 500. It's been many years since they won 81 games. I think if they got there, they'd consider themselves on the way.
Yeah, well, Texas won't get there this year, and they're the big winners. They're a big winner.
Oh, Brendan, I am starting to leave that ship. I'm starting to feel a little bit more affection for Texas the more I think about them, but I originally thought, like you, that this was all a big mistake. It all blows up if DeGrom pitches 6 games again, right? So we'll see.
The Diamondbacks had 6 more wins than the Texas Rangers last year, and I think the Diamondbacks are posed to do better than the Texas Rangers this upcoming year because their talent is better. And they're not just signing all these pitchers in the hopes that it all comes together. That's the biggest problem. The Colorado Rockies and the Texas Rangers had the same record. We can harp on the Rockies stinking. They had 68 wins. Texas had 68 wins. Will Chris Bryant play more or less than who is the Texas bat that they signed this year? They had a big bat, and they just signed pitchers this year. Their bats were last year, right?
Corey
Seager versus Chris Bryant. We'll see how it goes. They also signed Marcus. But anyways, I just, again, you can love Texas. I think Texas is not even notable. Boston.
You would think if Bryant was healthy in Colorado, he should hit 40 to 45 home runs. But I don't know.
So the teams that finished last season was Boston in their division. They finished last. One could think that they are trying to not finish last, but I think they're headed that way again. Kansas City will compete with Detroit. They were both within a game of last in their division. I think that's a good standing. Oakland was last in their division by a mile. One could say that they're still going to be. Then you had the Nationals. Can we just lock in the Nationals for last place in the NL East? Is that like a lock?
I believe so.
Swing batter lock of the year. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh both finished with a whopping 62-game winning season. I think they're going to be competing again for the lowest wins in that division. And Colorado. I think if you're going to lock in a team, I'd lock in Colorado Rockies as 5th. I'd lock in the Nationals. I would say Oakland, only I'm really going to cheer for them against the Texas or the Angels now that those teams don't know what they're doing. Yeah, it will be interesting. It will be interesting. Well, let's close out these thoughts and let's send everybody on their merry way. We appreciate you joining the podcast today. And again, visit the website at swingbatter.com. Subscribe and like, please, and share with all your friends. We look forward to this off season as much as you do, but we look forward even more to, Dad, when is spring training started? The best time in Arizona. Starting to warm up a little bit out here, everybody. We're starting to get a little more tan, a little more color. Golf is in the air. If you want to spend a cool $200 to play 18 holes, you can come out here and do that. Dad, when is spring training? What are we looking forward to here?
Well, in spring training's great because every team tells their fans they're undefeated and they're going to win the pennant, no matter how bad they are. They tell them that. I think looking forward to the next swing batter, what we got to be watching is obviously is this whole thing with Correa just a game between Boris and the Mets, and we're going to find out in 2 days they signed. Is that going to actually, which is probably the most likely, that they'll just get this behind them. But the other big question is what team's going to swallow hard, take the abuse, and put Trevor Bauer in the rotation, because one of them's going to do it. And I just don't know who it's going to be.
Well, I think the Correa ordeal is similar to an Avatar movie or movies at this point. It just keeps going and going and going, and you just don't, doesn't really go anywhere, but it's really fun to watch, I guess. People are going to it. So, Todd, your final thoughts? I know I just touched on two topics that are very sensitive to you. I apologize. The scars are still those stitches.
Number one, I think Correa and Avatar are both going to settle down this week and realize what they actually are. Correa's contract will get worked out. It'll all be settled. Boris, you can stop releasing stuff to the press about whatever. We all know where you're going. We all know what's going on. We'll figure it out.
Well, my closing thoughts of the team that I'm really looking forward to is going to be Seattle this current spring training. I do think with the Diamondbacks training in the same facility as the Rockies, that's a bad omen. If they can get the Rockies out of their spring training facility, I'm a big fan of that. Make them train with the Dodgers. I would like that idea. Much better than what we have. So yeah, that's where we're sitting, everybody. We thank you for joining us on this podcast. We are also looking forward to some of these wonderful signings. We look forward to the Kansas City Royals doing some more, and the Pirates, and all those bottom-end teams. I don't think Cincinnati's even scratched anything yet. They're still sleeping. For everybody, thanks so much. This is Brendan. I'm your host. Have a great night. Bye now.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah.